Okay, guys, if I'm audible, just type it in the chat box. We'll start with a new topic now. Okay, so hope the slide is visible to you. You can just type it in the chat box if it is visible. Okay, audible. Okay, thank you. Okay, so today we'll be starting with a new topic which will be known as directions. So this topic is a base of two more topics, which will be your seating arrangements and order and ranking. So make sure that. The first thing, what do you mean by directions here? Can you even define me? What can you tell about directions? Yes, guys, anyone just type it in the chat box. What do you mean by directions? See, this is the definition of your directions. So if you want to travel in some particular path, right? Okay, so you need to have a particular directions. If you're not having a direction here, okay, so you will not be able to move in a particular direction, right? For that reason, you need to know what kind of directions are there, how many types of directions are there. So basically, we are having 8 types of directions. Okay, means types of directions we are having. If anyone is asking how many total directions are there, you're going to answer as 8. Okay, so in that 8, 4 are the main directions and 4 are the sub directions, which we call it as cardinal directions. Okay, so the rest of the 4 we are going to call it as cardinal direction, and those all direction are based on only two things, which are your poles. Okay, and you know that two poles are there, that is south pole and north pole, right? So south pole will be there and north pole will be there. According to these two, we are going to write down all the directions here. Okay, so direction is a path in which a person moves to reach a predetermined or certain destination, right? This is a definition of your directions. Okay, so these are the 4 main directions we are going to have, as we have discussed. Okay, and it will make 90 degree of angle, because whatever direction you're going to take, right? So all those directions will be making 90 degrees of angle if you're taking main directions, and if you're only taking cardinal direction, those are also going to make only 90 degree of angle. Okay, so these two poles will be there. Okay, in the clockwise of south you will be having west here, and in the clockwise of north you will be having the east here. Okay, these are your main directions. The rest of the 4 we call it as cardinal directions. Okay, which is made using your poles here, which we have discussed. Okay, use the pole name as first, which is north and south, and then the rest of the direction will be there. So if you're taking the cardinal direction between north and east, so answer will be northeast. Okay, if you're taking the direction between north and west, so answer will be northwest. Okay, so these 4 will be your cardinal directions, and between cardinal direction and north, this main directions will be having 45 degree angle. Okay, so they will be making 45 degree angle, as you can see in the diagram here. Okay, so these are some basic concepts you have to know. Now in the examination, they will be directly asking you what direction you are in right now. That's how you're going to do that. So don't rotate your books and all for calculating which direction you need to rotate. You can directly use your left hand to calculate that particular part. Okay, suppose if I'm asking that a person is facing north, okay, so what is his left and right? That is the main thing, right? So what could be left and right here? If I'm asking that, what will be the left and right of a particular person who is facing north here? If a person is facing north here, okay, so what will be his left and right? Okay, which side he is going to face and which side will be the left and right here? Okay, so use your left hand and just point it out towards the north direction. Okay, and your palm side will represent the right side and the dark side will represent your left side. Okay, so where's the right side? Right side will be towards your northeast. Okay, northeast or east, you can say. So that side will be your right side and left side will be in the dark side of your left hand. Okay, which will be your northwest and or west, you can say. Okay, so if my person is facing north here, or else you can remember like this. So after north, right, always downside will be north. Okay, and upside will be, oh, sorry, downside will be right and upside will be left. Okay, after crossing south, downside will be your right side. Okay, so downside will be your left side and upwards will be your right side. Like that you can remember if you're not thorough with the concept of left hand. Okay, so whenever you're rotating from the north here, always the downside will be right side and upside will be your left side. Okay, when you cross south, okay, when you cross the south direction, right, so downside will be always left and upside will be always right. So you can remember like this. Okay, so this will be important whenever you're doing the questions here. Okay, so basically we are having four types of questions here. Just a moment. Okay, so these are the types you are going to have in the the directions here, which is your distance calculation, shortest distance, rotation type, and shadow based and clock based. Okay, so these are the five types you're going to have in the direction topic, where distance calculation is nothing but you need to calculate the distance from the end starting point to ending point. Okay, and the facing of the person. The main thing is facing, because most of the time the people will be confused in the facing here, because distance calculation is very easy. When you see this, right, you will get that particular part. But the main thing is facing of a person. So you need to know that how you have to calculate the facing of that person after the question ended, right? So distance calculation is nothing but when the ending point and the starting point are in the horizontal line, right? At that time you have to calculate distance. Okay, distance calculation. What do you mean by shortest distance? It is the same thing. There is a slight difference. Okay, when your short means starting point and ending point are not in the horizontal line, right, where it is in the not horizontal line, at that time you have to calculate the shortest distance. Okay, so we'll do some questions based on this, so we'll get the idea that what I'm saying here. The rest of the three we are going to start after finishing these two. Okay, so just see here what are the four types you're going to have here. So first thing is we means this type is based on your shadow based. Okay, at that time you will be seeing this particular diagram. Okay, same goes for your sunset and sunrise. Okay, this will be doing after the finishing of first two topics, and then we'll start this one. Okay, these all based on your shadow based. So tips to how to solve the particular questions. Okay, first thing is, if the initial facing, if they haven't mentioned, okay, if they haven't mentioned that where the person is facing, if it is north, if it is south, if it is west or east, always you have to take the answer as north. Okay, if they haven't given the facing, initial facing, if they haven't given, you need to always take it as north. So you have to remember that. Okay, so always try to draw a particular diagram. Okay, because direction is purely based on diagram. Okay, we have the shortcut trick also, so that also you can use. But first thing is you should know how to make the diagram using the question. Okay, so it will be means it will avoid the confusion of finding out the answer. So always make sure that you make the diagram properly, you'll get the answer for that. Okay, now we name the starting point. It means the start point is there, we call it as starting point, and the ending point we call it as end point, you can say. Okay, or ending point also you can say. And ending point is also known as standing point. Okay, the last point having three names, which is end point, ending point, or standing point. So in these three we can use any wordings there means in the question. So make sure that you know these words here. Okay, yeah. So tips to do this distance, right? Whenever you're drawing the diagram, right? So make sure that you make the diagram properly. Suppose if you're making 2 meters of a diagram, right? So 2 meters should not be bigger than 5 meter line, right? So that common sense should be there. So if you're making 2 meters line there, so it should not exceed 5 meter line. Okay, so that diagram sense should be there always whenever you're calculating. As I mentioned here, if they haven't mentioned any kind of directions or facing, you have to always consider as north here. Okay. Okay, let's see the first type of question, which is distance calculation. As you can see, this is the first question here. Okay, so what they're saying here, a person facing south goes 2 kilometers in the same direction, then turns to his right and walks 3 kilometers again. Okay, it means 3 kilometers. Again, turning to his left, he walks 5 kilometers. Okay, finally, he walks back towards north for 7 kilometers. Okay, now this is sentence. Okay, so using this sentence you have to make the diagram. Okay, using the sentence you have to make the diagram, and after this sentence you'll be getting a proper question. So what you have to find out, do you need to find out the direction, do you need to find out the distance? So according to that you have to give the answer. So what they are asking here, what is the distance he has to travel to reach the starting point, they are asking, and in which direction. That means when he's traveling to that distance, right, starting point or ending point, whatever wording they are using here, in the end where is he facing? Okay, after traveling that particular distance, so where his direction, you have to tell the answer for that. Okay, so let's draw this diagram first. Okay, so this will be the diagram you're going to get here. I'll just fix the diagram, just a moment. Okay, now the diagram is clear, I think. Now now see here, what is the first thing they have done? Okay, so the man where he's standing, right? Okay, the man where he's standing, that will be his ending point. Okay, so location, the mark of location, right, that is your starting point. Now see here, where the person is facing south, right? So you have to go downwards. How much you have to go downwards? That is 2 kilometers. Okay, after going 2 kilometers, now he's saying that you are going to turn right. Okay, so right is what, as I said, when you are at the south direction, right, always your back side will be the left side and the front side will be your right side. So at what direction you're going to turn? You're going to turn towards right side. And how much you're traveling? You're traveling 3 kilometers, right? After traveling 3 kilometers, what he's saying, he's turning left now. Okay, so when he's turning left, you need to go downwards, right? So if you are going downwards, how much kilometer you're going to travel? That is 5 kilometers. Now, after going 5 kilometers, what he's saying, he's going directly back towards north. Okay, if he's going to directly back towards north, what is going to happen? That is 5 plus 2, because you have already traveled 5 kilometers, right? Now, if he's saying back towards right, you have to go opposite direction. If you are towards north, you have to go south. If you are towards south, you have to go north here. Okay, so now you're at the south and 5 kilometers you have traveled. Now you have to go towards north and 7 kilometers you have to travel. That means you know that that particular distance of 2 kilometers is 2, and the 5 kilometers downwards which you have traveled towards south, that is 5. So you have to travel 7 kilometers. That is 5 plus 2. So as you can see, the standing point of the man right now and the location which I have mentioned as the symbol, right? So that is his starting point. So as you can see, it is in the horizontal line. Okay, it's in the same line. That means this question is based on distance calculation. So like that, you're going to solve these kind of questions means how you get to know that what kind of question it is it a distance calculation or it is a shortest distance question. Like this you need to calculate. So whenever the man's standing point or the ending point is equal to your starting point, right, that is your distance calculation question. And the answer for this will be very easy. Why? Because whatever the distance you have traveled in the downwards, right, that is 3 kilometers, which will be equal to the distance from the ending point to starting point. Okay, that is 3 kilometers. But the main point here is in which direction he has to travel. That is the main question. So read the question properly. What is the distance he has to travel to reach the starting point? So what they are saying, they are saying that you have to reach the starting point. From where you have to start? You have to start from ending point. So that means you're traveling from west to east here. So what is the direction where he's facing right now? He's facing towards the east direction. For that reason, the answer will be 3 kilometers towards east. Okay, so that is the logic you have to follow in this part of the question here. Okay, so I will give you one more type of questions based on this. So try to give the answer for this. Okay, this is the question. So this is a question here. So try to give me the answer for this. What is the answer for this, guys? Anyone got the answer? If you got the answer, you can just type it in the chat box. Just what you do is just whatever they are mentioning in the question, right? Try to make the diagram of that. After making the diagram, right, just check from where to where he is going to travel. So in this question, what they are saying that how far is he from the starting point? Okay, how far is he from his starting point? So from where to where you're going to travel? That is the main point here. From where to where you're going to travel? How far is he from the starting point? They're asking. From the starting point, they are saying that means you have to calculate from starting point to ending point. Okay, so that is the sentence here. So you need to start from starting point and then you need to go towards the ending point here. Okay, so according to that, what is the direction you have to tell me, and what will be the distance that you have to tell me? The one person has given the answer that is 35. So let's see, is it correct or not? What about the others? Okay, 15 meters, 15 meters. Okay, let's see the answer. What could be the answer for this? Okay, so first thing, what you have to do is you have to go towards 30 meters, and from where, at what direction you're going to go? It is east, right? So east you need to go 30 meters, because they have said after walking 30 meters he turns left. Now left is what? Left is upwards, right? Now you haven't crossed south here, so that means upwards will be left and downwards will be right here. Okay, so you need to turn left here and you have to walk again 10 meters. Okay, after walking 10 meters, now where you have to turn? You have to turn left again. Left is what? In the upwards. So again it's left. Okay, how much is traveling? You need to travel 45 meters now. Now again what he's saying, you have to turn left here, but you need to walk only 10 meters. Now you can see that the person and the start means the ending point and the starting point are the horizontal line here, as you can see. That means it's a shorter, means it is not a shorter distance question, it's a calculation based question. Correct. Now you have to only calculate that particular distance. How are you going to calculate that? How are you going to calculate that particular part? Okay, so what could be the correct answer here? Okay, so you have to just minus your 45 and 30, because you have to calculate that red line distance, right? So how are you going to calculate that red line distance? You just need to take the 45 meters which is in the upside, and you need to minus from 30, so you'll get the answer as 15, right? But the main thing is what direction it is. So you have to calculate from starting point to standing point, that is ending point, right? So what is the starting point? Starting point is the center, which is the location mark is there, right? That is the starting point. The standing point is towards the west. So he's traveling from that location to the standing point. So that is which direction? That is west direction. Okay, so they haven't given here, but the answer is west here. Okay, if yeah, they're asking the same question and if they're asking to calculate the direction. Okay, so that will be west here. Okay, so this is the question. So try to solve this and tell me the answer fast. Okay, let everyone give the answer. Let's see who is going to give the correct answer here. Okay, so majority of the people has given us the answer as 14 here. Okay, 14 kilometers, 14 kilometers, 14 is the answer. Okay, So first thing is you can do this with the diagram here. Okay, you can calculate the same thing with the diagram here. Now see what they are saying. You have to travel 5 kilometers towards east. Okay, so first you have to travel 5 kilometers. Okay, so if you're traveling towards 5 kilometers like this, so this is your east direction. Okay, now they are saying that you have to turn left and walk 6 kilometers. So left is what? If you're using your hand, right, so just place your tip towards that particular direction, and upwards will be your left direction. And towards upwards, how much you're traveling? You're traveling 6 kilometers here. Okay, now again he turns right. You're turning right now, which is this direction, which is 9 kilometers. You have to walk here. After walking 9 kilometers, you need to calculate the 6 kilometers towards the which direction? Right direction. Okay, you have to turn right direction and you have to go 6 kilometers. Now some people, what they will do is they will directly give the answer for this one, that is 9 kilometers. But it is not actually answer as 9 kilometers. Why? Because whenever you're calculating the distance, right, you have to always calculate this one, which is this location starting point and this ending point. So you have to add this 5 kilometers also, right? The one person has given 9 kilometers, right? This is correct. Okay, this you have calculated correct, that is 9 kilometers. But you have to add this 5 kilometers also, because this 5 kilometers is from the location to this point. Okay, from the starting point to this point. But from here to the ending location, you have to calculate this also, right? So that's why it is 5 plus 9 here. Okay, that's why it is 5 plus 9 here. So answer will be 14 for this. Okay, so they haven't asked the direction here. So if they have asked the direction, what could be the answer? Anyone can tell me the answer for this? If they have asked the direction here, so what could be the answer? So how far is he from the starting point? Okay, same question. I am not changing any kind of wording here. It's the same question, but you have to tell me the direction also for this. So whoever has given the answer for this, right? So let's try to get the direction for this. Okay, give the answer for this. So how far is he from the starting point? That means you have to travel from starting point to ending point. So what could be the direction here? First, you have to calculate from starting point to ending point, because in the question they have given right in the end, how far is he from the starting point? Correct. So what could be the direction here? East. Yeah, correct. So because you need to travel from the starting point to ending point, right, which is this direction, correct. And in the beginning, as we have discussed, this is your north. Okay, and this is your east, correct. This is your east direction, and this downwards is your south direction. So you need to travel from this direction. That means what is this direction from starting point to ending point, which is your east direction. Okay, for that reason it is east here. Okay, now try to solve this question. Okay, this is one more type of question. Okay, where they haven't asked this direction distance here. Why? Because this is not a distance calculation. As you can see, this point and this point, if you take a straight line, right, it is not in the same line. As we have discussed, whenever the ending point and the starting point are not in the same line here, that means it is not a distance calculation. But this question they have asked to calculate the direction here, not the distance. So don't be confused. The same question they can ask in the second type of question, which is your shortest distance calculation. Okay, so this is also one type of question. So you can take down this question. You have 5 minutes. Just take down this question and write down the answer also. Okay, so this is one type of question. So I think you have taken down. Okay, let's go to the next type of question. Okay, this is one more type of question. So try to do this and tell me the answer fast. Okay, I got the answer as 7. So okay, so let's see if it is correct or not. Anyone else who has got the answer except these two? You have to just draw the diagram. Okay, whatever the diagram you're going to get right, there itself you'll be getting the answer. 1 feet. Okay, let's check the answer. So this will be the answer for this. Now, what they're saying first that Umesh directly went from P to Q. Okay, so just draw P to Q, which is 9 feet distance. Okay, so what they're saying that P to Q distance should be 9 here. Then what he's saying that then he turns to the right direction. Okay, where is right now? Now, if he is in the Q point, okay, so from Q point he needs to turn towards which direction? That is right. So after turning right, how much he is traveling? Is traveling 4 feet, right? That is 4 feet. After this, he turned right and walked a distance which is equal to from P to Q. So what is the distance you have traveled from P to Q? That is 9 feet, right? So again, after turning right, you have to go 9 feet. So from 9 feet is how much? It will be equal to P to Q, right? So that will be making a triangle here. Now again, he's turning right. After traveling 9 feet, he's traveling again right for 3 feet here. Okay. Now what he's asking, how far is he from P here? Okay. Now you don't need to calculate the whole distance. That is 3 plus 1. What you have to calculate that wherever the person is standing, right, wherever that distance is ended, that is the ending point. From that particular distance to your starting point, that is P. So how far is he? Okay, as you can see in the right side, right, that 4 feet is there. So in the in the left side also that distance will be 4 feet, right? So that red mark will be how much? That will be 4 minus 3, that is 1 feet, right? So that will be the answer for this one. Okay, now let's do different type of questions here. Just a moment, guys. Okay, now let's try to do the shortest distance calculation. Okay, so shortest distance is similar to your distance calculation. You have to do the same thing whatever you have done in the distance calculation, but the difference here you are going to get is the ending point and the starting point will not be in the same horizontal line here. So it will be means sometime your starting point will be above your ending point. Sometime the the starting point will be below your ending point. So those kind of questions here you are going to get. Okay, and remember one thing, remember this thing, that whenever you are doing distance calculation, right, your direction will always be main directions. Okay, you're always going to get north, west, south, or east. Okay, instead of this you're not going to get cardinal direction. But whenever you're going to solve shortest distance question, right, and they are asking you for a direction, okay, so at that time you're not going to get any main directions. Always you're going to get the cardinal direction itself. Okay, which is your northwest, southwest, or northeast or southeast. Okay, so remember this thing. So if you're not getting the proper answer right in the options, just check that, check according to this. If it is a shortest distance question, check for any cardinal options. Okay, so you can directly pick that answer. Okay, so remember this thing. So here they have given one question. Now in shortest distance, you know, you should know how to calculate that particular distance here. Okay, which is your Pythagoras theorem. So one question we have did in the previous here, this question we have done, right? Now as you can see, you have to calculate this red line here. Okay, this is your distance. Now that is your from starting point to ending point. This is the shortest distance. Okay, if you're traveling in this distance, I will just rub it and show you. Okay, now when you see this distance, right, if you're calculating a normal distance, you have to calculate like this. Okay, so this will be your distance, but now we are calculating the shortest distance. The shortest distance is what? This horizontal, this diagonal line. Okay, so this diagonal line, if you want to calculate, that means you have to make a triangle here to calculate this because of Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so you need to get the base here, you need to get the height here, and with that you can calculate the diagonally here. Okay, you need to do the same thing on Pythagoras theorem questions. Okay, which is shortest distance question. Now in this question, draw the diagram. Okay, try to apply the Pythagoras theorem and tell me the answer. If you're not getting it, I will show you how to do that. Okay, so apply this particular thing and tell me the answer, how much you're going to get for with this answer, this question. Okay, so anyone got the answer for this? 45 meters. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else got the answer? The same thing. Do the diagram for this question. Okay, make the diagram for this question, and then we'll see how to calculate using the Pythagoras theorem here. Okay. Always the main thing is you have to make a right angle triangle for any diagram. Okay, you have to make a right angle triangle of any given question. Okay, if you got a basic diagram, right, you have to convert that into a right angle triangle, a right angle triangle diagram, and then you can easily solve that particular question. $49. Okay, everyone try it out. Okay, once everyone, whoever is there, just try it out. If you're getting a wrong answer also, it's okay. Okay, 45, everyone is getting 45, 49. Okay, let's check the question. What could be a correct answer? Now, see here. This is the diagram you're going to get. This is the normal diagram you're going to get. Okay, this will be the normal diagram you're going to get like this. Now, but the thing here is you have to calculate this x. Okay, because the starting point is this one. Okay, this is your starting point, and this is your ending point. Correct. So you have to calculate this distance. You have to calculate this distance. But you can't calculate directly, right? Previously what we did, we used to take the same distance of this one, right? We used to take this one, so we got the correct answer always. But this time what you have to do, you have to convert this into a right angle triangle, because now we are having a diagonal here. So for calculating a diagonal, we are having one formula, which is your Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so you can calculate the value of b here, which is this distance, this one, right? That is 5 plus 40. How much it is? 45, right? And how much is this a? You can easily get the a here. So this is 20, right? This will be 20. And how much is this? This is 10. So 10 minus 20 minus 10 is how much? 10. So a is 10, b is 45. You can easily calculate the x here using the Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem is what? Base plus height. Okay, and take the under root of that. Okay, and then you will get the hypothesis. Okay, hypothesis, you will go to get this. Okay, so what is a? A is 10, b is 45. 45 square is how much? 20, 25 plus 100 is how much? 21, 25. Okay, so under root of 21, 25 is approximately, it will be something around 46.01. So approximately we need to take it as 46 meters. So answer for this is 46 meters. Okay, you got the answer here. Now read the question properly and tell me the direction of that. So direction part you have to tell me. Okay, so see the diagram here. So see the diagram and tell me the answer for that. So I have already shown you the diagram. The thing is you have to make the distance, means how, what is the distance? So what will be the direction of this particular diagram? So read the last line of this. Okay, so what they're asking, how many meters away from is he standing from his starting point? Okay, so what they're asking, standing from his starting point. That means you have to calculate from starting point to standing point here. So what is the starting point? Starting point is your, where the location mark is there, right? That is your starting point, and the man who is standing, that is your ending point. So you have to calculate in that direction. So what is that direction? Which is that direction? Come on, guys, type in the chat box what could be the answer. Northwest. As I said you that if you are doing a shortest distance question, right, you're not going to get main directions. So remember that thing. Always you'll be getting the cardinal directions. Okay. So if you're taking this in the diagonal right, you'll be getting the answer somewhere around this one. Okay, you'll be getting the answer here. This is southwest. Okay, it is not south or it is not west. It will be southwest. Always in distance calculation question, you'll be getting main directions. But this is shortest distance calculation. In shortest distance calculation, you will always get the answer in cardinal direction. So remember that. Okay. Okay, now do this one and try to do it faster. Yes, not northwest, it will be southwest. Okay, so make the diagram, and if you're confused about that, right, write it north, south, wherever you're starting from, and always you have to start from the center. Okay, so don't think that you're starting from east, north, or south. Always start from center, and wherever they are saying, you have to move accordingly. Okay, so do this one and tell me the answer, and tell the answer for direction also. They haven't mentioned yet, but you need to give me the answer for direction also. Tell me the answer for distance also and directions also. So this will be the, we'll discuss the answer for this now. So what you have to do is first draw the diagram here. Okay, first you have to make the diagram here. So first you have to travel 25 kilometers towards the north direction because they are giving north direction here. Okay, then after that you have to travel 30 kilometers after turning right. Okay, so whatever you have done till now, whatever diagram you are doing, you have to do the same thing, but the thing is you have to calculate the Pythagoras theorem. For that reason you have to make the diagram as a right angle triangle. Okay, so as you can see in this question, I have just joined this particular lines for making this particular triangle. Okay, so you have to calculate this distance, that x, that you can't find out directly, but this 30 kilometers there, right, that you can find out, and this whole distance from this to this you can easily calculate. How? Because this is 20, this is 15 meters, and this is how much? 25 meters. Okay, so total it will be how much? 40. Okay, so make the Pythagoras theorem, 40 square plus 30 square, it will be how much? 1600 plus 900, right? So answer will be 2500. 2500 root is how much? 50 kilometers. Guys, these are very basic questions. So main thing is you have to make the diagrams. Okay, so it get the answer very easy. Okay, this is one more question. So do this one, and then we'll try to start the next topic if any other question is not there. Okay, try to do this. Guys, tell me the answer for this. This will be a basic one. Okay, then we'll see a one difficult question and then we'll shift to the next topic of directions. Okay, try to give me the answer for this. Okay, one answer I got, that is 17. Okay, is it correct? The rest of them will recheck the answer for this. Okay, if you're getting the answer as 17, just type it as 17. Let's check if it is correct or not. Okay, then we'll see the answer. Come on, guys. Whatever the answer is, just type it in the chat box. Okay, what answer you are getting? Okay, according to you. They're asking that Mary started from her house and walked 13 meters north. Okay, 13 meters upwards She's going. Okay, then turned right. Right is where, which is your northeast. Okay, towards the northeast, he's going to turn. She's going to turn and walk 10 meters. Now he's towards the northeast, like this. Okay, towards the northeast, he's like, okay, it's opposite thing. Okay, towards like this. Okay, now this is the direction she's traveling now, like this. Correct. Now she took right. Again, she's taking right. That means again it is downwards. Okay. Downwards means what? It will be something like this, downwards. Okay. Now downwards, how much she's traveling? She's traveling, that is 5 meters again. Okay. So you have to calculate that how far is she standing from her house. Okay. So what could be the answer? So one person has given the answer as 17. So please recheck if it is correct or not. If the other person is getting the answer as 17, you can type it in the chat box. Same. Anyone else who got the answer? Okay, so let's see the answer for this. Okay, so as we said, north 13 meters, then 10 meters towards right, then again right 5 meters, then in the left side 5 meters. Okay, so left side 5 meters. Now you have to calculate the ending point of the starting point. So it is a common thing which is diagonal. So you can calculate the 8 meters using 13 minus 5, which will be 8. You can calculate the total of 10 meters, with that is 10 plus 5, it is nothing but 15. Okay, that red is with 10 here, so you have to add 5 also, that is 15 meters. Okay, so what is the total here? 15 square is 225 plus 64 is how much? 289 here. So under root of 289 is how much? 17. Okay, one person has given the correct answer, right? That is 17. Good. Okay, so in the same way, they can ask the direction also. Now, give me the direction answer. What could be the answer for the direction? Same question. The thing is, you have to tell me the direction here. So how far is she standing from her house? From where to where you have to calculate? They are saying that standing from her house, right? That means the starting point will be her house and the ending point will be where she's standing right now. That means from starting point to ending point you have to calculate. So what is the direction? What could be the direction for this? Think and tell me the answer for that. It is easy. It's not that difficult. Okay, northeast. Good. Anyone else? I think there is a very basic topic. Okay, so make sure that you learn this topic because it will be related to your next topics also, which will be a sitting arrangements. It will be helpful in order and ranking also. Okay, so these topics are there, right? It is very helpful if you learn the direction topic. Okay, yeah, northeast. Okay, this correct northeast because I am saying that you need to calculate from starting to ending, but when you have to decide from where to where you have to calculate, that will be a little bit difficult. So make sure that you do some problems. On that problems, you only calculate that from which distance to which distance I have to calculate. So that will be much easier for you. Okay. So let's see now different this question. Now we'll end this particular topic with this particular question, which is your shortest distance. Then we'll start a new topic here. In the direction itself, we are having more three topics, right? So that we will do with this particular question. So try to give me the answer for this one. Come on, fast. Whoever has given the answer, right? Need the answer from each and everyone. So try to give the answer, and with the answer, give the direction also. Okay, don't just give the answer here. With the answer means with the distance, give me the direction also. Okay. Okay, what is the answer? Okay, the one person has given the answer as 100. Okay, okay, 100, 100. And what is the direction here? Direction northeast 100. Okay, that answer I was expecting. Okay, so 100 and northeast you're saying. Okay, so let's check what could be the answer for this. Now this is the diagram and this is the answer. Okay, so now when you see this diagram, as you can see that they have made a proper diagram. This location point will be the starting point and the man standing is the ending point. So this will be the direction. So you have to make a triangle, right? So this is the right angle triangle. So this is the distance you have to calculate, right? So you can easily calculate this distance. Okay, you can easily calculate this distance, which is this one. So how much it will be? 90 minus 20. So that will be how much? 90 minus 20 is how much? Sorry, this total is 90, right? This total is 100. This stand vertical line. This is 100. This 100 minus 20 is how much? 80. This horizontal line is 90, right? So 90 minus 30 is how much? So you'll get it as 60. So 80 square is how much? 6400. 60 square is how much? 3600. If you add, you'll get it as 10,000. So under root of 10,000 is how much? 100 meters, right? That is the answer. So now what is the direction? First, let's see how far did he met his father from the starting point. So you have to start from the starting point and go to the ending point. Okay, and this is he's going towards east. So from this direction to this direction. So what is this direction? Northeast. Okay, so like this you have to calculate a direction path. Okay, now let's start with the next topic, which is your rotation based question. So in rotation based question, you have to remember three things. Three things you have to remember. That is your rotation. So if I'm saying that you have to rotate towards 90 degrees, so you have to rotate 90 degrees. But in which direction? That is important, right? So in which direction you have to rotate? Okay. So you have to rotate. Suppose I'm saying that you have to rotate towards left. Left is nothing but anti-clockwise. If I'm saying right, right is nothing but clockwise. Okay. If someone is suggesting that you have to turn right side, and how much you have to turn? 90 degrees. So that means they are suggesting that you have to turn 90 degree towards clockwise, because if you remember using clockwise or anti-clockwise, that will be much easier in rotation based question. Okay, but in the question they can use left and right also. So left means anti-clockwise and right means clockwise. That like that also you can remember. Okay, and this question, as you can see, what they are saying that you're facing southwest. Okay, right now where you're facing southwest, you're facing. Okay, you turn 90 degree in anti-clockwise. Okay, so after from the southwest you have to turn 90 degree, but where you have to turn? Anti-clockwise you have to turn. Okay, and 180 degree towards clockwise, and again 90 degree towards the same direction. Same direction means whatever he has done in the previous this sentence, right? You have to follow the same thing. So 180 degree in the clockwise, again 90 degree in the same direction. That means 90 degree in the clockwise direction. Okay, so which direction is facing now? So these kind of questions you're going to get in rotation based question. Okay, so this is the way of calculating. So at least around 6 to 7 degrees you're going to get in a single question. Okay, 6 to 7 degrees you're going to get in a single question here. So here they have only used three here. So the same thing you have to do in the rest of the questions also. Wherever the anti-clockwise they have used, use minus. Wherever they have used plus, use means wherever they have said as clockwise, you have to use plus here. Okay, and after that, what you have to do? Just add all the numbers and whatever the answer you're going to get in the end. Okay, if it is plus, take that 1 degree and rotate it. Okay, that will be much easier. Okay, if it is minus, take that 1 degree and subtract. Okay, and go towards anti-clockwise, you'll get the answer for that. Okay, so this the answer will be here, northeast here, because first where he is facing southwest, from southwest to 180 degree he need to go. Southwest opposite is northeast. Okay, that will be the answer. Understood? Anyone has given the right answer here? No. Okay, so try for this one and tell me the answer. Come on, guys, fast. This is a question. Write down the answer and tell me. I mean, write down the answer in the chat box fast. Guys, anyone got the answer for this? These are basic questions, guys. You can easily tell me the answer. Okay, so let's check the answer for this. Okay, so what they have done first, he is rotating towards 145, that means clockwise, that is plus. Okay, so then he is rotating anti-clockwise, that is minus. So 145 minus 120 is 220 is how much? Minus 75, right? Now, what is the first direction you are facing? South. So from south, you have to go anti-clockwise 1 times 75 degrees. So what is the answer? Southeast. Okay, so very easy, right? So like that, you have to do the rotation-based questions. Okay, now let's see another type of questions. This also one type question is there, so you can take down this also. Okay, I'll give you 20 seconds. Just tell me the answer for this, and I will show you the answer for this. What could be the answer? Fast. Read the question. You're having the options also. So what is the answer? Just tell me. T now. Okay, 75. Okay, previously it was okay. Previously it is good. Now tell me the answer for this. Fast. No answers. It's easy question, right? Just read the question and tell me the answer. Horse is facing north. Okay, it turns 135-degree clockwise, that is plus. Then it is 270. Okay, it is 270. I think it's not visible, but it is 270 there. Okay, so 270-degree anti-clockwise. So plus 27, sorry, plus 135 minus 270. Then again, and then another 30 degree in the same direction. That means again anti-clockwise. So how much anti-clockwise it is? 300 anti-clockwise and 135 clockwise. So what is 135 minus 300? How much it is? How much it is? 165, right? So you have to go 165-degree. Okay, and you're facing north here. Okay, C option you're saying. Okay, southwest you're saying. Okay, let's check. Okay, so you are facing north here. You have to go minus 165-degree, and you know 90-degree, right? If you're going 90-degree anti-clockwise from north here, so what are you going to get? West you're going to get, right? From west you have to go more, how much? 75-degree. That means you're not going to go south. Okay, that means you will be somewhere around west and south. So between west and south, that is southwest, right? So answer is C option, that is southwest. So like that you have to solve. Okay, now let's see what another types of questions. Southwest is the answer. Okay, this is your next type of question, which is your shadow based question. Okay, so as I have mentioned, right, we'll be seeing on diagram. In the beginning I have told you that we will be seeing one diagram in the starting, right? This one. So here we need to calculate what could be the south, means if you are facing towards south, what will be the diagram here. Okay, I will just copy paste this one, and I will paste there, so it will be easier to recognize what I'm saying here. Okay, just a moment, I will just copy paste the same table here, so that will be much easier. Okay, now as you can see, now it is easy. Okay, now whenever the sunrise is going to happen, right, in this particular type, you just need to learn this table. Okay, if you got the table, right, you can easily solve any kind of questions. Okay, so in sunrise, suppose your person is facing north. Now in sunrise, always your shadow will be following towards west side, right? Okay, if you're facing the north or south, always your shadow will be following west side itself, because opposite side of sunrise, opposite side of sunlight, the shadow will be falling. Correct. So suppose in sunrise you're facing north. At what direction you're going to fall? The shadow, your shadow is going to fall towards left direction, correct? Now the same thing, the person is facing towards south. Okay, the shadow is going to fall towards west itself. But when the person is facing towards south, right, your left and right changes. Right now, your south direction is, if you're facing towards south, now your shadow will be falling towards right direction, the opposite of north. Correct. Now, if you're doing same thing for sunset, in sunset, what is going to happen? The sunset, the shadow will be falling towards east direction. Correct. So that means in north, if you're facing, that means right side you're going to fall the it's right side, the shadow is going to fall. Correct. Same thing for south, it will be opposite of north, that is right and left. Okay, at 12 noon, okay, in the question if they're mentioning 12 noon, that means no facing, okay, and no shadow. Okay, because 12 noon means the shadow will be on your top, that means you're not going to get any kind of shadow. Okay, so this is a shadow based question you're going to get here. Now see some questions on this, so you'll get a basic idea here. Now what they are saying, that after sunrise, Rekha while walking on the road, she met Prema. Okay, Prema's shadow fell exactly to Rekha's right, and they are facing each other. Which direction is Prema facing? First thing, see here that it is a sunrise. Okay, that means you have to only see this much, only see this much. Okay, now see where Rekha, see Rekha while walking on the road, she met Prema. Okay, and Prema's shadow fell exactly to Rekha's right. If some person's shadow is falling towards right, so where that person will be facing? That person will be facing towards south. So where Rekha is facing? Rekha is facing south here. Okay, so Rekha is facing south because the Prema shadow fell exactly to Rekha's right, and anyone's shadow who's means anyone's shadow, if it is falling towards right, that means that person is facing towards south. Okay, so Rekha is facing towards south. So where Prema is going to face opposite, because they have said they are facing each other. Okay, they are facing each other means if Rekha's direction is south, so opposite direction will be Prema's, that is not. Okay, so these questions are very easy if you read the question properly. Okay, so solve this question and then we'll see the last type of question. Tell me the answer for this fast. Tell me the answer for this, because in shadow based question we are having two types. One is person to person, one is object to person. Okay, object to persons are very easy, which is this question. Previous question was person to person, means two persons are going to be used. Okay, and this question is object and person. Okay, so you don't have to consider both the directions here, you just need to calculate one direction, you'll get the answer. Now what they are saying, one morning sunrise, that means you have to see the sunrise here. Okay, sunrise diagram. Suraj was standing facing a pole. The shadow of the pole exactly fell exactly towards right. Now whose right will be? Person only will be having right? Object is not going to have any kind of left and right. So if the shadow is falling towards right, so Suraj is in the right direction itself. Okay, that means whose shadow is falling towards right in sunrise? That is your south direction. Correct. So answer is south here. See, answer is south. Now, what is the answer for this? Yes, Tina, it is correct. South. Okay, this one. What is the answer for this one? We are having one more concept that will see and we'll finish it out. What is the answer for this? We'll see here. Okay, the answer for is. So which option is correct? So let's calculate it. Okay, one morning Uday and Vishal were talking to each other face to face. Okay, so they are facing means they are like this face to face. Okay, so if Uday's shadow is falling towards, means suppose Uday is facing south, that means Vishal is facing opposite. Okay, now Vishal's shadow was exactly to the left of Uday. So where Uday is facing, if Uday means shadow is falling towards left, that means that person is north. So who is left now? Left is Uday. So which direction you have to calculate? Uday's direction, so answer is not. See, that easy it is. Okay, so you can directly calculate the answers here. Okay, now see the last type of questions where it is clock based. Okay, it is not a clock concept here. Clock is a different concept. In direction we are having one more concept called clock. So here what is going to happen is they will be giving two sentences. Okay, so first sentence to make the changes in the direction using the clock. Okay, in the second sentence you have to use that particular changed direction and you need to calculate the answer. Now when you see the first one, if the minute hand of a clock points towards west direction, okay, that means now the direction has been changed. Minute hand of a clock is facing towards west direction at 6 p.m. And how is 6 p.m? 6 p.m. is something like this, right? 6 p.m. will be something like this. Okay. Now, where is your minute hand facing? Minute hand is facing towards the west direction, right? Now, according to this west, you have to write down all the directions. Okay. So, in the clockwise of west, who is there? North is there. Okay. So, north opposite south, west opposite east. Now, the directions you have changed. Okay. Now, you have to calculate for 4:30. So, 4:30 is like this. Okay, 4:30 is like this. Now what is the direction? Direction is northeast here. Okay, answer is northeast. So like this you have to calculate. See here, northeast. Okay, so this is the way of calculating your clock based. Okay, so this is one question. Try to tell me the answer for this first. Tell me the answer for this. We'll wind up. Fast guys, what could be the answer for this? So what they are saying, timepiece of a table in such a way that the 6 p.m. our hand is pointing towards north. Okay, now the 6 p.m. our hand is pointing towards north. So where is north now? North is in the downside, this one. Here is north now. Okay, if here is north, south will be here. Okay, so in the clockwise of south, who is there? West is there. Okay, so east will be in this direction. Now you have to calculate the answer for in which direction the minute hand will point at 9:15. 9:15 is what? 15 is this, right? So what is the answer? West is the answer here. Okay, so this is the way of calculating your clock based question in directions. Okay, so this is the last question. So we'll wind up this session in this point here. Okay, so answer will be west for this one. Okay, you have to just make the clock according to the first sentence, keep that clock and the direction, and just place the another timing here and see that what they're asking. If they're asking the hour hand, they're asking, so calculate using the hour hand. If they're asking minute hand, calculate using the minute hand here. Okay, so we'll wind up this session here. Thank you guys.